He loved it. And then they turned it into the record company. The next day, they mastered it into the album. And now the album, the record company had known of this album, had been preparing to like, market it because Body and Soul is already on the radio at this time now.
Mm.
So they get the finished copy. They hear this, what song is this? And it sounded radio, it sounded R&B radio because Body and Soul was more, it's like a waltz. It was more, mysteriously jazzy,
Mm.
classically Anita Baker, because Anita's like just does these things that nobody else can do. Like she's almost Sade like. She has a sound
Mm. Mm.
that like something that ordinarily might not be commercial at all. It works because it's vintage her.
Mm.
But that was even less, that was even more left of centrist because of the tempo. But then the execs, got this record and just had like this fourth, like a standard radio friendly groove, and it sounded like Anita, but it sounded different. It sounded fresh. It sounded different, than things she'd done before. And they loved it, and they're like, we are sending this to radio now.
Wow.
And they rushed that, the promotion teams rushed that single to radio, rushed it to radio. And like by the end of the week, it was being played all over the country because
Yeah.
radio was like, oh, we're going to add this. And then they ended up, I think they actually, once they heard, I think they ended up rushing the release of the album too, because they felt they had a hit on their hands. And that's how that came to be.
Did it surprise you how, I mean,
Yes, yes. Shock, complete shock, awe. You
yeah.
have to remember that I'm a kid from New Jersey. I grew up, I didn't know anybody in the business. No nepotism. I don't have any relatives in the music business.
Mm.
I just grew up loving music, playing music, loving music, parents having dance parties and family friends coming over. I just came from this like music loving family and just started to pursue this just out of love for it. And then the next thing I have like these records on the radio, like it was surreal to me. And I had a job. I had to go to work.
Yeah, okay. I'll get back to the essence thing, but I think with
During all of this time, I am going to work every day.
no, I guess
Because
with
I'm
all this,
Jamaican. And they told me you have to have two jobs.
you have to have two, sometimes three.
Yes. You know?
Um, yeah, I think for a lot of us who grew up with Rapture of Love and Giving the Best That I Got, and then she took a time out before coming up with this with the album. Um, when the 90s was really hitting with a lot of strong songs, to just see Anita singing this very haunting song, it was like, "Ah, I need to get that album."
Mhm.
It was like, oh, it really brought her back into, the conversation, even with a younger generation who probably knew her from when our parents were buying her, but it's like, no, this is stuff that we had. And the fact that this was almost like it almost didn't get the album, if
Yeah.
not the with his
It almost
thinking.
didn't make it.
Did she? How did she feel? Did you know if she felt like, oh, whoa, this was just completed? Why is that being pushed ahead of the other songs we spent time with?
I think she loved it. I don't think she would have recorded it if she didn't love it. She loved it. She loved it, and Barry loved it, and she trusted Barry. Barry was her producer, and
Okay,
he had a vision, and there was trust. You know,
but
and
she
she
knew you.
no, I never met her before. I
Oh,
never met her.
so
No,
she didn't know who wrote it, and she didn't know whose
he
background
told
was.
her. But I didn't meet her till after. You know, I think I wasn't there when she recorded. I came by. He called me to come by to the mastering studio the next day, and I said hello. But no. But then I got to know her a bit after that, because she was singing in concerts and stuff like that, and I'd go to some of the shows and stuff like that. But no, no.
Okay, okay. Um, Why were you still at Essence when you were writing hit songs during the day?
I had a job. I had insurance.
Um,
I had a job. At this time, it's like, I don't know if this music thing was going to work out like that. You know what I mean? It just like, it could have been a fluke. It could have been like one year in my life, like one great year in my life that could have come and gone. I really just didn't know what was going to happen. So I went to work. I had my job. So did Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat, in his interviews, he's talked about how like he had a job, when he's first had broken it. I think he worked on Wall Street.
yeah.
Job. I worked at S till August 10th of 1997. I had a job.
What were you doing at Essence?
I was the entertainment editor of Essence. I had a very important job.
Well, entertainment, that's Essence is entertainment. Well, that's all I knew.
Well, yeah, but
And
Essence,
fashion.
yeah, that was one part. I mean, Essence did fashion. We did contemporary living, which was like home stuff. We did
Okay, okay.
travel. We did, um, poetry. We did many things, but I had about 5 to 6 pages that were my pages that I edited, which were the entertainment, and entertainment was film, music, theater, visual art, and then most of the cover stories were, you know, were entertainment.
Entertainment.
I
And this,
interviewed and I interviewed like Tony Braxton. I wrote a cover story for Tony Braxton. Like, so I had my job and I was very integral in the team at Essence when Essence was in its peak. I mean, like that was the year when we first like started the Essence Music Festival. I helped was
wow,
the team that helped choose the talent lineup for the very first Essence Music Festival.
wow.
I was like people knew me as Mr. Essence.
Not the songwriter.
No, well, it's like I was kind of like Mr. Essence that was writing on the side. Like it took years before that flipped. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But I went to work. I was working. I mean, sometimes I was tired as hell because I might have been in the studio all night, literally. But I went to work and I loved my job. I
Okay.
loved my job. I really,
Wow.
and I didn't want to leave. I loved my job. I was very loyal to my job. I'm still close to my former coworkers, still to this day. Um, and I loved my job, and I loved having a job. Was I tired? Yes, I was exhausted because the politics of both things were a lot. But I loved having a job. I loved having insurance.
Yeah, okay.
I loved like there was a built-in prestige and built-in network that I had at my disposal because of the Essence affiliation. You know what I mean? Like, and I knew everybody. I knew everybody in entertainment because I was
Oh.
known as the guy from Essence.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I did miss you.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay, you okay.
They don't understand what those boys winning all spirits.
play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.